Got my eyes straight ahead, got my head in the game. With the red light on, I'm just waiting for the change. Keep my head down low.
Hi, Jay Fallon, and this is the Slippery Slope. So I've spoken about this a couple of times over the years, and but it just it seems like everything comes about. What I think happens is people will uh, people will talk about a subject. They just put it out there. It's a bit like fishing. I go fishing. I use a cast net a lot of the time, and sometimes when you're using a cast net, it's good to have two people. So you'll see fish over there, but you know you're going to throw the net, and they're going to immediately dart the way. Especially going for whiting or mullet, something like that. So you might have the second person go and say, okay, you throw the net over there. And then as soon as you throw the net, as soon as it hits the water, they're going to dart away. And I'll, second after you, I'll throw it, I'll hit over there and they'll go straight into my net. So you're basically just setting your trap. You think, people think the fish think that they're getting away from whatever that noise is, that disturbance is in the water, getting away from this trap, but they're going into another trap. And it feels like that's what our modern day technocrats are doing to us. These or technical despots, I suppose you want to call them, something like that. So they'll go and they'll put something out there in in the water, put it out there and see how the world reacts, and then just let it all die down again. Won't talk about it, and then a year, 2 years, 3 years later, put it out there again, or they'll the story will resurface, and everyone's talking about it. Well, they were talking about that ages ago, and everyone got up in arms. Everyone was offended by what was said. But now, okay, yeah, we can kind of see the point. We kind of see where you're going with this, and then it all kind of quells down again. Then a year, 2 years later, it all comes up again, and this might be a good idea. This subject that I want to talk about, I'm going to talk about. Bill Gates has been apparently discussing the demise of the smartphone and the rise of the e-tattoo. Now, I've been talking about these e-tattoos and that for a while, and over the last 4 years or so, 4 or 5 years, I've been doing the podcast. Talked about where we're going in the future, where our future is leading us, and our technocrats, let's call them that, where they are kind of leading us. We've got all these modern day kings in the world. At one part in our near future, we're going to end up with 10 kings ruling the world. But that's a different discussion, I suppose. But we're going to end up, we've got these digital kings or something. I don't know what you want to refer to them as, but basically ruling the world, basically guiding us where they want us to go, where they see the future of mankind going. And, some of them are involved. Some people look at, the Great Reset and all that kind of thing, and I think that's all part of it. Klaus Schwab and all the people of his ilk. Obviously, all the big technocrats are involved in that anyway. But you've got all these technologies coming out, and Bill Gates has said, he sees the future being the demise of the smartphone and the rise of the electronic tattoo, which like I said, I've spoken about this a number of times over the years. So I believe that we are just being guided into the direction. What they do, they put out this story. They say, "Oh, look, check out the e-tattoos. Check out the way we're doing things now." They just test the waters, see how things are going. Are people accepting it? People like it. Oh, they kind of do. We just put it out there so people get used to it and they have the idea, the thought of it. They see it, then they pull back on the story. Then a couple of years later, they put it back out there again. So he's out there again apparently because he'd first brought it up by early 2020s, maybe even 2020, something like that. Probably even before that, talking about these electronic tattoos. And obviously, they've had the RFID chips that they put in people. So now we're looking at these electronic tattoos. Obviously, Mark Zuckerberg has put all his money into the glasses. I think Apple and Samsung, they're sticking with the phone, but they're also going with all the other gadgets that go along with the phones, which I've got to admit I'd probably prefer that because I don't have tattoos anyway, and I don't like the idea of putting anything on my skin, regardless. And besides all that, I think the spiritual implications of it all. Obviously, the Bible talks about a time frame where we're going to have 10 kings, one ruler. We're going to have one world government, and everyone is going to be forced into having this mark of the beast on their forehead and their hand. And there's been a lot of speculation over the years what this will be, but I think it's getting close to that time frame where we are seeing that technology uh, coming about that will be used. We will see a definite what is definitively going to be used as the mark of the beast that the Bible spoke about. So I'm not convinced that it's going to be this particular electronic tattoo that they're talking about, but I believe that anything that they put out there for us to see, in reality, they're probably 5, 10 years ahead of it anyway with the technology. So I'm going to read this story, and I first, while I was looking at this again, was because I'd seen that Tom Hughes on Hope for Our Times was talking about it, and I'd looked up and there's a few different articles coming out, all again saying, "Hey, Bill Gates is talking about all this stuff again," and he's whatever. Bill Gates. You've unfortunately, I don't like the guy, but unfortunately, you've got to take notice of what these people are talking about if you want to keep up to date and keep abreast of where this world is actually going. Obviously, like I said, I put my faith and hope and trust in God and in what the Bible says. Anyway, uh, but it's no good just to bury your head in the sand. I don't believe it is. Okay, I'll just go through this one article. That'll do. Will tech tattoos replace smartphones? Bill Gates and Chaotic Moon Studios uh, pose tattoos as a new level of tech. In recent years, technology has advanced rapidly and overwhelmingly. Devices such as music players, digital cameras, and computers, as well as most of their functions, have been centralized in one device. Smartphones, obviously. Initiative Innovation in smartphones can't stop, but there seems to be a new invention that will completely revolutionize the world of technology to take it to the next level, says businessman, co founder of the Microsoft company, Bill Gates. There is his. Look at that face. It's a face only a mother could love. Crikey. Yeah. So what are they for? So the renowned businessman, computer scientist, and philanthropist, got to put that in, decided to invest in this new creation that is being developed by Chaotic Moon, a creative technology studio founded in the United States in 2010. See, and that's what I'm saying. Anything that they're putting out now, they founded this in 2010. Anything that they're putting out now and showing us, mate, they've still got other stuff that's just years ahead of us. This is just what they've got in the works right now. This is what they think we're ready for. So, the main idea of this invention is to go beyond the function of smart watches and offers users comprehensive and constantly updated control of their health. This is just the selling techniques that they use. Oh, it's all about your health. This is just to help you. It's like when they come along and say, well, this is for your health and safety. This is for your safety, only for your safety. That's all we're concerned about. You've got to, I always say, if someone comes along and says, look, I'm doing this for you, for your safety, for your benefit, look around, look behind you, because something else is probably going to come and smack you in the back of the head any second now. So what we mean is that these electronic tattoos will be able to detect the presence of fever, changes in vital signs, only certain infections, and other physiological alterations. Also, we could say that it will be used as a possible method of early detection of diseases. You remember there's also what was the conference? One of those conferences, it might have been the Klaus Schwab one, when one of the big pharmaceutical companies talked about the tablet, the little tablet that you can swallow, and inside it will be a little smart chip, and it'll go through your system and send out the information about what's going on in your body and that you've actually taken this tablet. It's pretty out there stuff, but this is what they're talking about. This is nothing to them. So the device will collect the information daily and will store it as medical reports, thus having the opportunity to always have updated data available. That's a picture of one of these kinds of tattoos they're talking about on the skin. Looks kind of funky. They'll come up with some really cool looking designs, pictures and that, and everyone will be like, oh yeah, this will be good. Eric Schneider from Chaotic Moon Studios thinks that instead of going to the doctor once a year for a checkup, this tattoo could monitor everything in real time, and the doctor would only call you if there was something wrong. Like I said, it's all for your health and safety. Mr. Gates sees great potential in this tool and proposes that, apart from a medical checkup, it may it may execute the same actions as a smartphone: send messages, look up addresses, find directions, receive calls. He is already doing research to implement these functions. Electronic tattoos are temporary and they are placed on the skin just like traditional tattoos, although in this new method, the difference lies in the link component. It is far from being a chip implantation, but rather the composition that enters the skin is composed of nano trackers. It's what you want. It's coming into your body. Nano trackers, small processors that are capable of recording, measuring, and sending information in real time. The sensors send the information captured from our body to another device, just another device, in order to record what is detected. Conclusion: this creation linked to biotechnology is still developing. I call rubbish. They've got it all set up. It's all ready to go. They just want to see whether mankind's going to accept it. That's all they're waiting for. We hope to have more news about its details and its future market launch very soon. Technology surprises us all the time by offering us innovative devices that generate great controversy and opposed opinions. Fortunately for now, no artificial solution is going to replace us. What? Art remains as human as ever and in demand. Whatever. Like I said, I've spoken about this a number of times over the years. This is, they put these stories out just to get people used to the idea, just put it out there in the world, people talking about it, and then they measure what's the acceptance rate. How are people talking about it? They look like they're going to be accepting of this technology, or is everyone kind of balking at what's coming up? As with the AI companions that I was talking about, and the Grok companions and that, and the what was it, the what's those places called? Where the prostitutes go, the brothels, um, the AI brothel in Germany, in Berlin. These kinds of things, to me, it's us handing over our humanity to big tech companies. That's all it's doing. Now, I've spoken numerous times about my role as a covert surveillance officer within the Queensland Police Service. And as I said before, when you're conducting surveillance, when you're going and you're starting an operation and you want to know about a person, you think, okay, you've got this little bit of information, you've got to confirm the person, then you've got to start collecting data, collating that data, and working out their patterns of life. Because the more you know about their patterns of life, the more you can predict what they're doing, the more you can, well, if you've got the authority, you can in some ways dictate what they can and can't do. But this is where we're going. The more information they have, and everyone says, well, they're already watching us, but they're centralizing. Everything's kind of decentralized at the moment. You'll have all these different technologies and people use different things, but everything is getting centralized. Everything they're working out, our patterns of life for every individual, so they know exactly what you're doing. And then when everything's centralized, they can literally just give you a notice and say, hey, we don't like what you've said online. We don't like this post that you've put up. We don't like what you've done here. Your daughter, your son, whatever, they haven't been involved in this. If you don't curtail this kind of behavior, well, we're going to close down your bank account. We're going to restrict your bank account because you've still got to eat. But you can only shop in your little town where you live, or your little area. 15 minutes. You can only walk or drive 15 minutes away from your home and buy shops only in this area. That's all you can do. 15-minute cities. You can see how everything is being set up. Everything is just coming along. All these different technologies are coming along. And we're really just handing over our humanity to big tech, I don't even think it's really big tech. I think there's something far more nefarious than just technology companies who want to, try and invent these things, want to try and do these things. I think people like Bill Gates have far more nefarious intentions. He might come out and say, "Oh, look, it's all for your health, and we can do all these things for the health benefits of everyone." But in reality, he wants to be able to control everyone. His father was involved in eugenics and all this. The same person who's been involved in, oh, can I say all this stuff? Injecting, all this stuff in different nations and in people who, it seems like, I won't say that. Anyway, he's been involved in other in other situations, and people have said, we don't think he's doing the right thing here. We think he's maybe doing some bad things in the background. That's what he's doing. And he comes out and says, "Oh, I'm just trying to help people." Um, I think there's a far greater, darker force that's in pushing this technology and pushing us where to go. Like I said, I believe that this is what the Bible describes. Obviously, in Revelation 13, when it talks about the mark of the beast, it talks about everyone. You will not be able to buy or sell unless you have that mark on your right hand or your forehead. So this is where we're going. This kind of technology, and where they're going to be able to dictate exactly where and when you can go out, you can't go out, you can buy, what you can't buy, how much money you're allowed to use in a day. It's funny, we've had a bit of issues with our banks here in Australia sending out notices saying, hey, give us this information. We're just going along with legislation here. You have to give us this information, confirm your identity and all this. Otherwise, you're going to lose access to your bank account. So I got one of these notices a few weeks ago, and I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, how can you restrict? That's all my money. It's all my money. And you're talking about restricting access if I don't give you these details. It's this kind of dictatorship, this ability to demand all this information and make these threats at the same time. But at the same time, they're saying, well, it's nothing to do with us. We're just following government legislation. But, we're going along. If you don't go along with our demands, sorry, kiss your money goodbye. And I don't know what you're going to do to buy yourself a loaf of bread. But this is where we're going. We're handing over our humanity. We're handing over everything about us, all of our personal information to all these companies. But I believe that there's a far greater, more nefarious entity behind it all that's just trying to using all of us and using people like Gates and that even as pawns in their plans for global domination. But this is where we're going. This is what I think exactly where we're going. It's just interesting to talk about it again because, like I said, they keep bringing this up every couple of years, but I think we're going to see more and more about it. People like Bill Gates will want to keep advertising what he's doing and pushing his plan. Obviously, Zuckerberg's been right out there advertising the Ray-Ban, the glasses and all that they're using. So this is going to be pushed upon us. And soon and very soon, we're going to see the demise of the smartphone, and everyone's going to be choosing what to do. And there will come a time when we're going to have to, well, when I say we, I don't think I'll be here, but that the human race will have to make a decision about getting some kind of mark. Otherwise, you won't be able to buy or sell. And that's just the way it is. That's where we're going. So it's interesting to see it all happening, but I would encourage you not to hand over. If you have the choice, just keep pushing back, keep pushing back, keep denying it. Don't just go along for the ride. Just look up where this information, where this technology is taking us, and who is actually using it. Um, it's good just to keep yourself informed. Don't bury your head in the sand. Bill Gates, here to save the world. Anyway, this is just my opinion. I think obviously it's a bad thing. They come and say, "Oh, this is just for your health and safety. Going to be able to monitor your health. It's going to be good. Save you money at the doctors." Yeah, okay. This is all my opinion. My name's Jay Fallon. Let me know what you think. Check out the rest of my podcast and my music. I'm Jay Fallon. Thanks for listening to The Slippery Slope.
They just fuel the desire that will take me higher. I'm